Hello, I'm John McCormick and I'm your mayor. By now, many of you know that we have made a concentrated effort in Woodbridge Township to advance the arts. Various concerts, art exhibits, different programs and services that have been made available to Woodbridge Township residents to bring the arts more advanced throughout Woodbridge Township. With me now are two people who, at the same time that effort was starting, came up with an idea to have the Woodbridge Community Youth Players, a group of very talented young men and women from our high schools who starred in a play, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, in July of 2008. I'm joined by the director, Ricky Cohen, and the musical director, Beth Amory. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
And these ladies are used to actually doing performances in front of thousands of people, and they want anything but to be here today with me.
Because we're in the back usually.
Yeah.
I'm in the back. Well, today you're in the forefront because this was such a good play that happened in Woodbridge Township. We want to talk about it a little more. So first, tell me the idea behind You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Why that is the first show?
Well, we knew we had a small venue, so you can't put 60 kids on a stage in a small venue. It was our first year. We wanted to start with an ensemble show, meaning we had a group on stage and they were on stage for the larger majority of the show. And so Charlie Brown was a small show. It appealed to all ages. That was important to us, that you could bring your children or you could bring your grandparents. And it just seemed a natural fit.
And the kids loved it. I mean, just seeing, they all know Charlie Brown. Actually, some of them maybe not have because it goes back, maybe a generation, but they just loved the colors, the whole theme, the acting.
Right. Well, it's a cartoon, and it is a funny show, and it's an engaging show, and so it's fun to do, and it's fun to watch. So that was really what drew us to that show.
And the music was great?
Mm-hmm. And the kinds of songs that kids could sing along with that they knew, they all fell in love with Snoopy.
My first question was going to be, tell me about Adrian Frere and Snoopy. He looked like Snoopy. He acted like Snoopy. He had the doghouse thing going on.
It's supper time. Yes, it's supper time. Oh, it's supper time, the very best time of day. It's supper time. Yes, it's supper time. And when supper time comes, can supper be far away? Bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the bacon and fill me up, 'cause it is supper time.
Adrian is at Amden now in New York studying theater and dance and music. And he's a natural on stage. A couple of years ago, he played a character completely different. But Snoopy seemed a good fit for him. He was, and the kids loved him. They just fell in love with him. They giggled as soon as he hit the stage. So.
Yeah, we interviewed kids on the way out, and when I asked every kid, who was your favorite character, 9 out of 10 of them said Snoopy.
Right.
They loved it.
Right.
And Steph Chandra did our makeup for us, and she worked really hard to get all those details right.
The nose and the ears.
The nose and the ears, absolutely.
Right.
And he played the part great, and the howling, howling at the moon was perfect. So tell me about Chris Bober, Charlie Brown.
I think I'll just walk right up to that little red-headed girl and introduce myself. Yeah, I think I'll introduce myself, and then I think I'll ask her to come and sit by me. I think I'll ask her to sit by me, and then I think I'll tell her how much I've always admired her. I think I'll flap my arms and fly to the moon.
He did everything but shave his head.
Right.
We asked him not to shave his head. We thought it best that he didn't. But he was just, I love working with Chris. He throws himself into every role. He has played such a variety of roles for us. And he became Charlie Brown. And he was just a delight to work with. And you watch Charlie Brown on that stage and you really believe it's Charlie Brown as he's sitting there upset that the little red-headed girl won't look at him. Chris really looked upset.
Chris really did look upset. He did a phenomenal job with the part.
Yes.
Right.
Now, Lisa Steinberg was the Charles Schultz, did he create that role 50 years ago knowing Lisa was going to be born? Or did Lisa just pattern herself after Lucy Van Pelt?
You know, I don't know where her motivation came from, but true story. When she sang her audition, I laughed so hard I cried. I was playing piano for the kids as they came in. We didn't audition the cast. We hand-picked the ensemble, but we did audition them for particular roles. So it could have been any of the girls in the cast playing Lucy, but she walked in and really just nailed it right on from the very, very beginning.
And her mother did tell us that she is Lucy.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, she was perfect.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
when she
was.
did that part, you know, I am the biggest queen, and she
Yes.
wanted
Oh my
to
God,
run the
love
whole
that
world.
scene.
That was just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, I will go to my summer palace, and I will wear my crown in swinging and everything. And when I go out in my coach, all the people will cheer, and What do you mean I can't be queen?
It's true.
There must be a loophole. These kinds of things always have a loophole. Nobody can stop someone from being queen. If she wants to be one, it's undemocratic.
Good grief.
It's usually just a matter of knowing the right people. I bet a few pieces of well-placed correspondence, and I get to be queen in no time.
I think I'll watch some television.
I know what I'll do. If I can't be queen, then I'll be very rich. I'll work, and I'll be very rich. And then I'll buy myself a queendom.
Good grief.
Yes, I'll buy myself a queendom, and then I'll kick out the old queen and take over the whole operation myself. I will be head queen.
Yeah.
Maverick Barona as Linus with the scene where he had the blanket and he sang, what was the
My
song?
Blanket and Me.
The Blanket and Me,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, he played that part great.
Yeah.
He did. Well, Maverick is the philosopher. I mean, you know, this is not to say that there wasn't a great deal of acting going on his part, but to have a conversation with Maverick is to have a conversation with Linus. I mean, to take the most simplistic situation or event, and that's kind of what Maverick does. So that was a natural fit as well.
Sucking your thumb without a blanket is like eating a cone without ice cream. My blanket and me.
Guys, come here, you've got to see this. Look at my little baby brother Linus with his baby blanket.
There's your little baby brother with a silly blanket.
Well, you know how babies are with their blankets.
What do you mean? It's a cozy sanctuary, but it's far from necessary, 'cause I'm just as self-reliant as before. As a simple demonstration of my independent station, I will walk away and leave it on the floor. Yes, I'll walk away and leave it, though I know you won't believe it. I'll just walk away and leave it on the floor. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yes, I'll walk away and leave it on the
And Brandon Grisbard as Schroeder. I mean, I'll never forget
God,
the art,
yeah.
art.
Brandon's facial expressions are so absolutely incredible. And there was the moment when he's early on in the show, he's Lucy's singing Schroeder, the Schroeder song, and she's at some point talking about how one day they'll be married. So Brandon Schroeder stops mid-playing, and the expression on his face, people just howled. In one moment, he could convey so much of his character, and he was just He was so funny.
Yeah, Brandon's capable of saying a lot on stage without ever uttering a word because
Right.
he is so expressive.
Do you know something, Schroeder? I think the way you play the piano is nice. Do you know something else? It's always been my dream that I marry a man who plays the piano. At parties he plays something nice like April showers. I'm sure you could play something nice like April showers. Or even Ferrara Jaga. Beethoven's nice too. Just imagine, what would you think if someday you and I should get married?
And Rebecca Radajna played,
Rajadna.
played Charlie's sister.
Yes.
Yes. And she's another kid that you have to love everything about her. I mean, she brings such enthusiasm and complete and utter commitment to everything she does. Her music, her schoolwork, her film. She's studying film in college. I mean, she's just an extraordinary kid. And working with her on a show, no matter what show it is, no matter how big or small the role is, you cannot say enough about Rebecca. And she was fabulous as Sally. She had
Her
just the
comic
one
timing
song,
was
and yet
amazing.
you had to remember her. Her timing,
Yeah.
is really one of
Yeah.
her strengths.
I like the scene I was in, but with the jump rope that was tied around her. I mean, that was just
Right.
classic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And she could take a single moment like that and really just something very simple and turn it into something special. I mean, that's a gift that she has, really.
Oh yeah? That's what you think. Oh yeah? That's what you think. Oh yeah? That's what you think. Oh yeah? That's what you think.
What?
That's my new philosophy. Oh yeah? That's what you think.
Well, why are you telling me?
What?
Why are you telling me?
Why are you telling me? I like it. That's a good philosophy. Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me my new philosophy? That teacher gave to me on last week's homework. She said, Miss Sally Brown, your grades are going down. I could have told her.
Your new philosophy.
My new philosophy, Miss B, I'm she. Look, C, a D, a D. Well, why are you telling me? And that's my new philosophy.
That's your new philosophy.
Why are you telling me my new philosophy?
That's great, son, but I gotta go practice Chopin's Nocturne in B-flat minor.
No! I like it. No! That's a good philosophy. No! No! No!
That's your new philosophy, huh?
Yes! I mean, no!
Now, what did you have to do to get Nick Armenti to wear the yellow bird outfit?
Well, the thing about Nick is we've done a lot of things to torture Nick. And he's such a good-natured kid. He trusts us. I'm not sure why, and he may not.
After this
After
show.
the leotards. He did tell me the other day I'd never get him in leotards again. But we ask him if he'll do something, and he's just willing to do it. And as Q was teaching him the choreography, those were classic moments we should have filmed, because the look on Nick's face when he realized what Q was going to have him do. That was before he knew he'd be in feathers and leotards.
Faithful friends, always near me, bring me balls, scratch my ears. Little birds come to cheer me every day. my stomach with their sharp little claws, which are usually cold and occasionally painful. But sometimes there are so many that I can hardly stand it. Rats! I feel every now and then that I gotta bite someone. I know every now and then what I wanna be. A disheveled animal crossed on the limb of a tree. La 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 la. I stay very, very still till I see a big. I wait knowing very well every second counts.
And Q, we mean Quinzel Bunch, who was
Yes.
the choreographer of the play, a good
Yes.
friend of yours and a guy I've come to know very well.
Yeah.
And he was there at all the shows. He did a great job helping out, right?
Q is amazing. I first met Q. He was hired at Woodbridge. Well, he teaches math at Woodbridge, and now he teaches math and dance. And when he first was hired, the vice principal, Beatrice Moskowitz, came to me and said, "You have to meet this man," because his resume includes dancing with Albanelli, dancing and studying with Albanelli, and he was a dance major at Rutgers. And he, as a choreographer, he doesn't just teach steps, he creates pictures. He is one of the most talented people I've ever worked with, and just, can envision things that I don't think either one of us ever could. Q adds so much to every show that we've done with him. The show choir at Woodbridge, really, the credit should go to him because he's amazing. I can't say enough about him either.
And going back to the Yellow Birds, Woodstock, of course. I mean, they, next to Snoopy, they had the most comments by the kids after the show, and people laughed
Right.
the whole time they were on stage.
Yeah. You almost did. We didn't need to rehearse the music under that very much because no one heard it because they were hysterical. Yeah.
And Alyssa Caffarelli had not a single line in the whole show. She played in some of the choruses, I guess.
Right.
But she just got to be the little redhead girl.
Right. It was her nature. Some of the kids, when we invited them to be a part of this, we had a pretty good idea of what role they would play. I mean, we assumed Bober would likely be Charlie Brown. We did assume that Adrian would likely be Snoopy, but they read for both parts. I mean, in the event that, we had maybe, had this preconceived notion and they could have done other things, but there was just something about Alyssa that we thought she'd make the perfect little redheaded girl.
And once she told us she'd be willing to rinse
To
her
dye her hair red,
red,
yeah.
Right.
then she was a shoo-in.
I saw her as a cheerleader, I think, in September, and I didn't recognize her.
Right.
Because she didn't have her hair painted.
Right, yeah.
And some of the other actors and actresses, Steve Smith, Paulo Abad, Megan Peterson, Vanessa Kamalis, they had maybe one or two lines in the show, but they were all part of the dancing and the bus scene and all the different,
All the
the
ensemble
homework
scenes.
scene, and they did a great job.
And one of my favorite scenes is the baseball scene. And every single one of them is in that. And just in large part, it's Q's choreography. But the way they worked together was amazing.
Come on, give me a T. T. Give me an E. E. Give me an A. A. Give me an M. M. What have you got?
Team! There is no team like the best team, which is our team right here. We will show you we're the best team in a very little league this year. And in no time, but we make time with the big league baseball stars. For all we have to do is win just one more game, and the championship is ours.
Dear Pen Pal, you'll never guess what happened today at the baseball game. It's hard to believe what happened today at the baseball game. I was the manager, Schroeder was catcher, and all of the team was the same as always, but somehow or other disaster struck at the baseball game.
And one other thing about Megan Peterson, she was Q's dance captain. And she is herself a phenomenal dancer. But, Q does all the choreography and he does all the teaching, but he needs somebody else to help work with the cast, and she did a fabulous job. The
Yeah,
kids
she's great.
respect her.
Yeah.
I've seen her and all these kids, at the different football games and different high school events. They're all just a great, great
Right.
bunch of kids. I
Yeah.
say
Right.
kids, they're young men, young women.
Right, very well-rounded bunch of kids. I mean, they're all involved in a lot of things and passionate about everything that they do. I mean, one of the reasons why we would pick, a Stephen Smith or Paolo or Megan or any of these kids is because we knew they would bring it. We knew that we had a short amount of time. It was a small ensemble. You can't afford to bring anybody into a cast that small and not have them be there, present all the time, in spirit and in effort. And we knew that we were going to get that from these kids, and they didn't disappoint.
For all of us, this was something so new because we'd been doing the high school shows, which would be 3 months of intensive rehearsal, and this was that time cut in half.
And the guy who played the mayor, he was a natural.
He was fabulous. I don't know where we found him.
It's just
Really
amazing.
Yeah, that was a really genuine, authentic performance.
The way he delivered that line,
Yeah.
that one line. He had more lines than some people in the cast.
Yeah, well, that's true,
That
and,
is true.
we're pretty sure we'll be seeing him again.
Am I to be judged by the quality of coat hangers used by the dry cleaning establishment that returns our garments? Is that not the responsibility of my parents? Should they not share my fee?